Now, from a positive standpoint, I have to be honest, I thought in that first half, the balls out from Tanaka, the long balls out to Okafor. I thought as well, the long balls out to our fullbacks, the connector from Tanaka. I don't think Tanaka was exceptional today, but Tanaka was by far the best midfielder for Leeds United today. Why? Because he's good on both feet. He's good on the ball. He's good at opening his body. He's press resistant. He's good, which basically means he's good under a press, which is what Brighton provided today with Belieber and Array in that midfield. Okay? So you get him on the ball. Ampadu I thought was a little bit terrified today of getting the ball on the back foot, which basically meant that because Brighton pressed so high, they were pressing so high that they were forcing Leeds United to go back, exactly the same as Arsenal did. They're forcing Leeds United to funnel. They're forcing us to go sideways and backwards. But if they're not in a press, which at points, especially in that first half, Brighton sat back. They're 1-0 up, they'd sit back. But if Leeds are continuously playing the ball lateral and continuously playing the ball backwards, because they can't find the openings with the midfielders, so you've got Belieber, you've got Arayi, man for man, really, on some of our midfielders. But if you're not getting our midfielders being brave on the ball, then that basically means, at that point, Herzler's team press. So they've waited and waited and waited, and they've figured out, hold on, the players on the pitch have figured out, intelligence, football IQ, that you're not able to play the ball forward. So if you're not willing to play the ball forward into these, little elements of plays, into the pockets of space of which, look, you're going to have to risk to get that reward. If you're not even willing to do that, we're going to press you even higher. The press is even higher. You go straight back to Perry. Perry, who's not great at kicking out from the back, inadvertently either kicks the ball out of play, kicks the ball to a player, and they recover the ball high anyway. But for me, there was elements in that first half of which Leeds had the ability to go forward. I was seeing it at points as well, and I love Gabby, but Gabby would cut inside on his left foot when he was being pressed on that right-hand side by Jakob Minter, and there was a player in the middle in terms of Tanaka or Ampadu. He'd go back to Joe Rodon. He'd go back to Beal. That's a problem. You've got to start going into the midfield. You've got to trust your midfielders. Not hospital balls, but you've got to trust your midfielders if they've got, let's say, 1 or 2 yards of space and they've got the strength to just hold off that other midfielder. If you're holding off that other midfielder and getting it on your strongest foot, you've got the ball into the midfield. The midfield might be able to look over his shoulder, play it then out to Jayden Bogle or something like that. The problem is there was too many points in that first half where Leeds are being cautious, we're being careful, but we're still playing it out from the back. It makes, excuse my French, it makes fuck all sense. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. You're playing out from the back, but you're playing cautious all the time. And when we got into the pockets was after they conceded that goal. And I thought that was probably Leeds' brightest period, but I just never thought that we had the quality on the pitch, again, to be able to really hurt Brighton. I thought they looked comfortable. I think, aside from Arsenal, that was a battering. An absolute battering. I think we chalked up 0.31 XG, which we've spoken this week about the stats. We've spoken this week about the highest recoveries in the final third. We've spoken about, Leeds running more than any other opposition. But if you've not got the quality on the pitch to be able to hurt other teams, it means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. I thought the Tanaka substitution was stupid. I'll be honest with you. I thought he was stupid. That's my personal perspective. I think he was the only one in that midfield who had the technical ability to at least make his way around that Brighton midfield. I think keeping Aronson on the pitch. And we said it in the preview again, words fail when you're looking at Aronson. He's struggling again. We said it in the preview as well, the West Ham game is the West Ham game. It's isolation. Jamie Carragher's already said on Monday Night Football about how unathletic they are in the midfield. You cannot take West Ham as the almost like, the sort of like status of what Brendan Aronson is going to be against Brighton. It's 2 completely different games, 2 completely different styles, 2 completely different intensity levels, 2 completely different, caliber of football teams as well. And again, he was just gobbled up today, taking too long on the ball, taking 6 or 7 touches when he just needs to take 1 or 2, going down on the ball. It's not just Brendan, but it's one of those things where you cannot get too gassed when you play up against West Ham.